Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well as well as teach well. And also peace and salutation to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And in this video, I'm going to be going into the book of Judith in the Apocrypha, chapter 5, verses 16 to 21. Okay, and pretty much the main thing I want to show in that line of precepts is that, all right, Judith, the 5th chapter, basically explains the mindset of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. All right, because when you read in Judith, the 5th chapter, all right, as you can see right here, Judith chapter 5. Okay, it goes into well, really, when you go into the whole entire book of Judith, period, it goes into this individual right here. Well, I can't highlight it, but Holofernes. Okay, Holofernes, which was as you can see, the chief captain of the army of Assur, which is the Assyrians. Okay, which he was basically this guy Holofernes. He was basically the second in command under Nebuchadnezzar at the time when Nebuchadnezzar ruled over Assyria. Eventually before you ruled over Babylon, as you read of in the scriptures. Okay, and when you go into this chapter, as well as the whole entire book of Judith as a whole, he basically set aim towards to conquer the Holy Land, and take down our ancient, Israelite forefathers that were in the Holy Land at that time, and to pretty much expand the empire of the Assyrians under Nebuchadnezzar, going into different countries throughout the known regions, taking down their governments, taking down their armies and their strongholds, and basically forcing them to submit to the power of Nebuchadnezzar and the Assyrians. All right. And so in this chapter right here, Judith, the 5th chapter, Holofernes basically set aim to expand this conquest to the Holy Land, the land of Israel, and take down our ancient forefathers. But now when you read in this chapter, when you go to verse 5 in this chapter right here, okay, Judith 5 verse 5, then said Achior, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, all right, an Ammonite, let my Lord now hear a word from the mouth of thy servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people, which dwelleth near thee, and inhabited the hill countries, and there shall no lie come out of the mouth of thy servant. So basically, this individual right here, this captain of the sons of Ammon, all right, Achior, if I pronounce that correctly, he's basically getting ready to give him some intel on, all right, the Israelites, okay, the truth concerning this people, as it said. All right, he's basically about to give Holofernes some intel about the Israelites before Holofernes, goes to make that move against our forefathers at this particular time. All right, and so when you go down in this chapter, he goes into the history of our forefathers. When we starting with Abraham, when Abraham dwelt in Mesopotamia, all right, amongst the Chaldeans, all right, the Chaldees, as it goes into in Genesis 11, all right. Then he goes into the history of our forefathers in ancient Egypt, and the Lord delivering us out of ancient Egypt with the mighty signs and wonders, and parting the Red Sea. All right. And then he goes into how the Lord had our forefathers go into what was known as the land of Canaan, all right, at the time, and took down those different Hamitic nations that were in the Holy Land before we possessed it. The Amorites, the Canaanites, the Jebusites, Perizzites, Hittites, all right, all the ites, okay. And so when you go down to verse 16, when you go down to verse 16, Okay, Judith chapter 5, verse 16. And they cast forth before them the Canaanite, and the Perizzite, and the Jebusite, and the Sychemite, and all the Girgashites, and they dwelt in that country many days. Okay, yeah, talking about when we took down those different Hamitic nations, all those, the ites, all right, and basically possessed the Holy Land. Okay, and so now, verse 17, and whilst they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because the Most High Yahweh that hateth iniquity was with them. Okay, yeah, during the time of King David and King Solomon, when we had ruled over the heathen nations, all right, when the throne of David subdued the heathen nations, and therefore led to Solomon in his kingdom having 40 years of peace. All right, when all 12 tribes were in the Holy Land, dwelling at peace. Okay, we sinned not before the Most High Yahweh, and therefore what? We prospered. We subdued the nations under David. We had 40 years of peace under Solomon. Okay, we were eating, drinking, marrying, being given into marriage. All right, in righteousness. Okay, and we were winning. We were on top. All right, as long as we did right before the Most High Yahweh, we prospered. Okay, because the Lord was with us. All right, but now when you go into verse 18, but when they departed from the way which he appointed them, all right, after starting with the downfall of Solomon, and then the split of the nation that came out after Solomon, where you have various wicked kings that rule over the northern and southern kingdoms. All right, and we started to go off. Okay, verse 18 again, and when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs, and the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and the cities were taken by the enemies. Okay, yeah, the Babylonian captivity. All right, where after so many wicked kings rising up over Israel and Judah, okay, the northern and southern kingdoms, primarily the southern kingdoms. Okay, it ultimately led to the Lord sending the Babylonians to come into the Holy Land and taking down our forefathers at that time and bringing them into captivity. All right, and casting down the temple. Okay, which was prophesied by the various prophets in the Old Testament. Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah. Okay, so on and so forth. All right. All these things transpired because of us departing from the ways of Yahweh Shema Shai. After the death of Solomon, when the nation was split in half. All right, northern and southern kingdom. All right, when we started to go off. Okay, it says, verse 19, but now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. All right, and not only did that happen back then, okay, where you had various of our forefathers that were exiled at the time of the Babylonian captivity, and eventually came back to Jerusalem, and built the second temple, set up the Levitical priesthood again, okay, set up the law again. All right, so not only did our forefathers return back in ancient times after the Babylonian captivity, but this also applies today, here in these latter days. All right, as Babylon the Great is in rulership. All right, America, where you have the elect, the remnant, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, waking up to the fact that they're Israelites and returning unto their power, Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, let's read that again. Judith 5 and 19. But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, okay, through the preaching of the gospel, all right, via the internet, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is. And now, though, through this great awakening, all right, although we haven't, physically possessed Jerusalem in the Holy Land yet, but, spiritually, we possessed it, because we as the hopeful elect, we the remnant, we are Jerusalem. Okay, that city of peace. All right, the city where the sanctuary or the temple of the Lord dwells in through the Spirit in these latter days. Okay, because not only are we spiritual Jerusalem, all right, but we're also the spiritual temple of the Lord. Okay, pursuant to First Corinthians 3:16. All right, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Lord. All right, so not only does verse 19 right here apply to what happened back then when our forefathers returned from the Babylonian captivity, but this very well applies today as the remnant are waking up in these latter days. All right, at the last leg of our last captivity. Okay, so verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. Okay, and this is right here in verse 20. All right, this is why these heathen didn't want to see the remnant waking up in these outer days via the Holy Spirit. Okay, because these heathen, they know that anytime the Lord pours his Spirit upon our people, okay, and that he's with us, all right, that gives us the advantage over them, and that we can conquer them or overcome any obstacle that they put in front of us. But they, at the same time, these heathen know that when the Lord isn't with us, all right, and when the Spirit isn't with us, then that opens up a window of opportunity, for them to conquer and get the victory over us. All right, and that's why in these latter days, okay, these heathen, mainly Esau, Edom, they put so many enchantments and idols in front of our people, via the music, television, movies, money, politics, education, pseudoscience, all right, religion, okay. They put all kinds of drugs in our in our so-called communities, all right. All these different things. Why? Because to keep us from waking up, all right, and returning back to our power. Yahweh Shemal Shai. Okay, let me read that again. Judith 5 verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, in which, when you read about the elect or the remnant in the scriptures, okay, the elect or the remnant would commit no sin against the Lord, all right, and that we will be without fault. All right, as you can see right here, Zephaniah 3:12, a remnant of Israel. All right, Zephaniah 3 verse 12. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord. Okay, verse 13. The remnant of Israel shall do no iniquity. All right, no sin, nor speak lies. Neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth, for they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Yeah, so the elect, the remnant of the nation of Israel, as I just said, in these latter days, okay, because this is speaking of end time prophecy right here. The remnant would do no iniquity, commit no sin before Yahweh Shema Shai, nor speak any lies, okay, nor a deceitful tongue be found in our mouths. All right, because in these latter days we would receive the Holy Spirit to repent to the Lord, all right, and come back to obedience to the Lord, all right, through Yahweh Shai, and we would receive a testimony, okay, a testimony to preach throughout the four corners of the earth, all right, to chant down Babylon the Great, to speak out against his beast system and his image and against his charagma, all right, and through this testimony, as well as being covered by the blood of Mashiach Yahushua, we would overcome this same beast system that was chanted down, as well as overcome the rest of these heathen nations, all right, that are trying to prevent us from returning back to our power, okay. And so these things will be done by the remnant, okay, and at the forefront of this remnant, they will be doing these things, returning back to the Lord. It will start with the 144,000, okay. As you read right here in Revelation 14 and 1, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood upon the Mount Sion, the lamb being Yahushai, the lamb without blemish, and Mount Sion, okay, as it's going to say, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. Okay, so this Mount Sion represents the 144,000, having the name of the Most High Yahweh written in their foreheads, and Lord will not be of their number. Okay, so the Lamb, Yahushua, is with us. All right, as we're preaching this everlasting gospel throughout the four corners of the earth. Chanting down Babylon the Great. Okay, and as you go down in this chapter to verse 3, and they sung as it were a new song before the throne, all right, the everlasting gospel, and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth. Okay, verse 4, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. Okay, not defiled with these other philosophies and beliefs and doctrines of this world. Okay, but instead we're likened unto virgins to the Lord. Okay, undefiled. All right, not polluted with these different philosophies and idols that are being pushed throughout the four corners of the earth. Okay, because even the Apostle Paul said in 2 Corinthians 11, all right, just to get that real quick, 2 Corinthians 11 and 2, for I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, all right, Yahweh Shem Shai, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to a Mashiach. Okay, so through this ministry, we as the hopeful elect, all right, starting with the 144,000, are being prepared and presented to Yahweh Shem Shai as a chaste virgin. Okay, undefiled, clean, unpolluted. All right, and it starts with the 144,000. Okay, back in Revelation 14 and 4, these are they which were not defiled with women, all right, other philosophies and doctrines and idols, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Yahweh and to the Lamb. Okay, the first fruits to be joint heirs with the glory of Yahushua, right? The new bodies, the new covenant. Okay, rulership over the heathen nations, over the planet Earth. All right, and then it says, verse 5, and in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of Yahweh. See that? So the main point of all this is to show that the elect, or the remnant, starting with the 144,000 in these latter days, would be found without fault or without sin or without iniquity before Yahweh Shema Shai. So tying this all, with what we just read in Judith 5 and 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, which the elect in these latter days would not sin or be found with any error before the Most High, Yahweh, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. So the fact that a remnant or an elect will be found without error or without sin or without iniquity or without fault before Yahweh Shema Shai, therefore what? These heathen nations cannot overcome us and conquer us and go through with their plans, okay, which is, spoken of in Psalms 83, which I'm about to get in a little bit, okay. Verse 21, Judith 5 and 21, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. And guess what? There's not going to be any iniquity with the remnant of our nation. Okay? And so therefore, the Lord is getting ready to, all right, when these heathen nations come after us, all right, when these heathen nations come after us with great persecution, Yahweh Shema Shah is going to lift up a standard for us and defend us against them. Okay? Like it says in 2 Ezra 16, then shall it be known who are my chosen. Okay? And these heathen nations are getting ready to be made. These heathen nations are going to be made an eternal reproach before the world. Okay, like it says in I believe that's Zechariah, the Lord's going to defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, which is the elect, the remnant. All right. Now, everything that we just read of in Judith 5 verses 16 to 21, okay, pretty much sums up the mindset of Psalms 83. Okay, Psalms 83 verse 1. All right, a song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Okay, yeah, all these heathen nations hate Yahweh Bashim Shah. All these heathen nations are, pushing forward, anti-Messiah, ungodly, okay, unrighteous agendas throughout the earth, where they want to, digitize, all forms of currency. Okay, they want to further enslave his people, as well as further enslave all humanity. Okay, with the one world system. All right, they want to track, all forms of carbon and things like that. Okay, they want to block the sun. They want to blow up the moon. All right, they want to, do any and everything in their power to upset prophecy. All right, to upset the prophecies of the scriptures. Okay, and make the words of Yahweh Shema Shai of no effect. All right, they have lifted up the head. They're proud in these latter days, as these heathen nations are at the height of the power, their power. Okay, mainly Esau Edom. So it says, verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Yeah, these heathens for years have taken crafty counsel against our people. The drugs, the rap music, okay, these garbage TV shows and movies that they put in front of us, these churches and these religions, the black churches, the education system, the pseudoscience, the technology that they put in front of us, okay, just all these things that they put in front of us as enchantments and weapons to destroy us as a people and to destroy our family structures. Okay, they taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And who are the hidden ones referring to? The elect, the remnants. Okay, those that via this truth, this gospel, hide under the shadow of the Almighty. Okay, matter of fact, I just want to read this in the NLT real quick. Psalms 83 and 3. In the NLT, they devise crafty schemes against your people. They conspire against your precious ones. Okay? The precious ones referring to the elect. Okay? They conspire. See that word? All right? So, everything that Esau, Edom, and these heathen nations are doing in these latter days, as it's going to go into in this chapter, is all a, conspiracy. Okay? Okay, the prefix con, meaning with or together, and spire, which goes back to the word spirit or breath. Okay, they're in the same spirit, or they're in the same mindset to come up against the Lord's people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, because granted, when you look around the world today, in the news and current events and whatnot, all right, though these heathen nations are all divided up against, Babylon the Great and the beast system, okay, for various reasons, economic reasons, political reasons, whatnot. All right, but one thing that all these heathen all have in common, though, that they can all agree with, though, is that they need to keep you Israelites down, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and for those of us that have been given the Holy Spirit to preach this gospel, okay, to offer up the right sacrifice, they ultimately want to just off all of us. Those of us that are the hopeful elect, okay, the precious ones, as it says right here in the NLT. Okay? So verse 4, Psalms 83 verse 4, they have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." Okay, so they want to cut off the name of Israel from us. All right? Cut us off from being a nation, so that the name of Israel will be no more in our remembrance. And this word name, because we know the word name in the Hebrew is Sham. As you can see, so Strong's H8034, Sham, which is the name Shem, one of the sons of Noah. Okay, the chosen son of Noah. All right, who was chosen to continue on that righteous legacy that that Noah held on to in the earth before the flood. Okay, so this word Shem, it goes into what? Name, reputation, fame, glory. Okay, the name as designation of the Most High Yahweh, memorial, monument. Okay, so they want to take away the name of Israel from our remembrance. Okay, the reputation, the fame, the glory of us being Israelites, the memorial, the monument. Okay, because basically they want to keep us from from our legacy, and they want to keep us from our history, because they know that our history and legacy includes us having a direct connection with Yahweh Bashmal Shai. All right, and the Lord performing mighty miracles to get us victory over our enemies. All right, He's done it plenty of times in times past. The ancient Egyptians, okay, the Canaanites, and those different Hamitic nations that the Lord helped us conquer to take the Holy Land, all right, the land of Israel. All right, the Persians and the Mede, during the time of Purim. Okay, the Lord was with us to fight off Antiochus Epiphanes and the Greeks during the time of the Maccabees. All right, and various other times that the Lord was with us to help us get the victory of our enemies. All right, these heathen nations, they want to cut off the name of Israel from us, because they want to cut off that access between us and the Lord. Because as we just read in Judith the 5th chapter, all right, when these heathen, all right, when they see us returning back to our power, all right, they know that the Lord is going to defend us, and that we can overcome them and get the victory over them. But okay, when they're able to find fault with our nation, then they know that the Lord is not going to defend us, and that they're able to overcome us and get the victory over us. And that's why these heathen go so hard with pushing all these enchantments in front of our people, through the music, the entertainment, the food. Okay, these religions. All right, these heathen want to cut off our access. They want to cut off our victory through Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, so verse 5, Psalms 83 verse 5, "For they have consulted together with one consent." All right, conspire. Right, it says they are confederate against thee. Then it goes into the nations that came together to cut off the name of Israel from us. All right, verse 6, "The tabernacles of Edom." All right, so right here at the forefront of this confederacy against Yahweh Shema Shai and our people is the nation of Edom. All right, Esau, Edom. Okay, and the Ishmaelites of all right, so-called Arabs of Moab, so-called Chinese, and the Hagarenes, and Gabal, and Ammon, so-called Japanese, and Amalek, which are the small hats occupying the land of Israel today. All right, calling themselves the JEWs. All right, and the Philistines, okay, which are Hamites, are descendants of the Egyptians, okay, which is one of the nations that was conquered by King David and his men. When you read 2 Samuel the 8th chapter, all right, with the inhabitants of Tyre, which are also Hamites. Then it says, verse 8, Ashur, which is the Assyrians, Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Selah. Okay, so from verse 6 to 8, all right, it goes into all these various heathen nations that have consulted together to cut off the name of Israel from our remembrance. Okay, to cut off our access to Yahweh Shema Shai and stop us from getting the victory over them. All right, as they're all at the height of their left hand rulerships and their pseudoscience and their religion. Okay, and so on and so forth. All right, and ultimately, the ultimate goal that these heathen want to establish over us, starting with the tabernacles of Edom, as it says right here in verse 6, the ultimate goal that they want to establish over us Israelites is this. Psalms 83 verse 12, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. Okay, the houses of God, Yahweh Shema Shai, which are the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. They want to make us their possession. Okay, and how are these heathen nations aiming to do that? Through pseudoscience and pseudo technology. All right, and especially in the case of Esau, Edom, through Amalek, right? They want to make us their possession via the Karachma, the Revelation 13 and 16. Okay, because now when you go to Ezekiel 35, right? Ezekiel 35, which is prophecy about Esau, Edom, right? Known as Mount Seir in this chapter, which Mount Seir was one of the chief mountains or chief places in the land of Edom back in the ancient times, right? When you go down to verse 10, Ezekiel 35 verse 10, because thou hast said, all right, this is what Esau Edom says in their councils and the different secret meetings and these WEF meetings and these UN meetings, right? Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine. All right, the northern and southern kingdoms, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right, Ephraim and the rest of the northern tribes. Okay, these two countries and these two nations shall be mine, and we will possess it. Whereas the Lord was there. And how is Esau Edom? Okay, how is Esau Edom trying to possess the northern and southern kingdoms of the nation of Israel in these latter days? Okay, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans through their pseudoscience and technology. All right, the Karachma. Okay, where they want to stick a device the size of a grain of rice in your right hand or your forehead, okay, or any of your hands for that matter, okay, to ultimately make you a badge, okay, to as a stamp of servitude to Esau Edom and his beast system, America, NATO, and the EU, America being Babylon the Great, okay, that Karachma. All right, we know in Revelation the 13th chapter, John the Revelator said that Karachma is going to be implemented, for you to be able to buy and sell. But when you go further into it, okay, it goes beyond just buying and selling. They want to basically make you a slave through that Karachma, and that Karachma is going to be the modern day branding system. Okay, the modern day branding system to stamp you as a slave to this system. All right, for you to be their possession. Okay, and so at the forefront of Psalms 83, where these heathen nations want to take the houses of Yahweh Shema Shai in their possession, Esau Edom is at the forefront of this agenda, this plan, okay, through its technology. All right. Now, let's go to Genesis the 27th chapter, and let's go into the blessing that Isaac gave to Jacob. All right, Genesis 27 and 28. It says, therefore Yahweh, this is the blessing that our forefather Isaac gave to Jacob, right? Okay, which he thought he was giving his blessing to Esau, Edom. But, as the name Jacob goes in the Hebrew, Yaquab, it means what? Supplanter. Okay, so our forefather Jacob supplanted Esau out of the blessing, which when you read Genesis 25, the blessing was already preordained to go to Jacob anyway. The elder shall serve the younger. Okay, but the way that the Lord had it play out was through controversy and drama. Because hey, that's just how the Lord is. Okay, this story wouldn't be as good as it is. All right, without a little bit of controversy and drama. All right, and the Lord used various of our forefathers to stir up that controversy. In particular, right here, our forefather Jacob. Okay, so Genesis 27 verse 28. Therefore, Yahweh give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn. Okay, so just as Esau Edom has received the fatness of the earth in his latter days, as Esau is in the last leg of his blessing, well, Jacob was also promised the fatness of the earth. Okay, but as we know in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau would have to receive his blessing of the fatness of the earth, okay, before Jacob would have to receive his blessing of the fatness of the earth. Okay, so Genesis 27 and 28 again. Therefore Yahweh give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. Verse 29. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. So through Jacob eventually inheriting the fatness of the earth, all right, through Yahushua, of course, in the kingdom of heaven, all right, these nations would be ordained to serve Jacob and Israelites, okay, starting with Yahushua and the 144,000. And these heathen nations bow down unto us, all right, and that will be Lord over our brethren Esau, Edom, okay, and ultimately, we will we will curse them that curse us and bless them that bless us in the kingdom, okay. Jacob's blessing will be received in the kingdom under Yahushua, okay, and just to prove that, all right, just to prove that our blessing is going to come under Yahushua, let's go to Luke 1. Luke 1 and 31. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb. This is the angel speaking to Mary right here, right? Luke 1 and 31 again. And behold, thou shalt conceive in thy womb and bring forth a son, and shall call his name Yahushua. He shall be great and shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord Yahweh shall give unto him the throne of his father David. Okay, to fulfill that promise that was spoken of Solomon in 2 Samuel the 7th chapter. Where the Lord had I believe he had Nathan tell David that he will raise up his seed after him to sit on his throne. Okay, which is speaking of Solomon. But now, how would Solomon fulfill that promise? Okay, as Yahushua. Because if you can receive it through the Spirit, Yahushua was King Solomon. Okay, so Yahushua is the one that's going to fulfill, all right, sitting on the throne of David, okay, in the kingdom. But it says, verse 33, and he shall reign over the house of Jacob forever, and of his kingdom there shall be no end. Okay, so in the kingdom of heaven, when Yahushua is going to sit on the throne of David, all right, he's going to reign over the house of Jacob. All right. So showing you that, Jacob's blessing is linked with the kingdom of heaven under Yahushua. All right. So Jacob and the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, are going to receive that blessing under Yahushua. All right. So Genesis 27 and 29 again, let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blessed thee. And this is what these heathen nations do not want. This is what Esau, Edom, and Moab, and these, Amalek, and Ishmael, and the rest of these heathen nations that we just read of in Psalms 83 do not want. They don't want Jacob coming into his blessing, okay, having the fatness of the earth, having resources, having control over the whole entire earth, because these heathen know that, Jacob is going to receive this blessing under Yahushua in the kingdom of heaven, which Yahushua has spoken of in the scriptures to take down these heathens, okay, these same heathens that are ruling over us and consulting against us, like it says in Psalms 110, that right hand shall strike through kings, okay, and also in Revelation 19 talks about how Yahushua is going to take the crowns of these heathens off of their head and put them on his head, okay, meaning what? Take down their rulerships, okay, and stand victorious over these heathen nations, all right, and bring forth the blessing that was promised to Jacob that we're reading of right here, okay. So as we're reading right here, the promise, the blessing of Jacob is to have the fatness of the earth, and these heathen nations bowing down and serving Jacob, okay, and his word serve, all right, just to pull it up just for the hell of it, for edification's sake. Nations shall serve thee. All right, Strong's H5647, ibad, which means what? To work, serve, labor. Okay, to work for another, serve another by labor, to serve as subjects. Okay. Then it says right here down in the Strong's definition, keep in bondage, be bondmen, bond service. All right. Keep in bondage, be bondmen, bond service. So in other words, these heathen nations are going to be our slaves. They're going to serve slavery under us. All right. When Jacob receives his blessing under Yahushua. All right, these nations are going to serve us and be slaves under us. And who's going to be at the forefront of our slaves? Okay, Esau, Edom, starting with his elites. Okay, the top banking families. All right, because as it says in was that Psalms 149? Yep, Psalms 149, and I started verse 5. It says, let the saints be joyful in glory. All right, the saints referring to the Israelites. And to prove that, you could just read the previous chapter, Psalms 148 and 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel. A people near unto him, praise ye the Lord Yahweh. Okay, so the saints are the Israelites. So in Psalms 149 and 5 again, let the saints, all right, Israelites, starting with the elect, be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. And okay, what is our beds and our glory in this verse represent? Basically us being in rulership, all right, in the kingdom. Okay, it says, let the high praises of Yahweh be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. Yeah, putting the heathen nations in servitude, in slavery under us. Okay, in the kingdom. And then, as it goes into, who's going to be the first fruits of our slaves? To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. So you see that? So the kings and the nobles representing what? The top banking families of Esau, Edom, as well as the top, elite families of the rest of these heathen nations. Okay, they're going to be amongst our first fruit slaves in the kingdom. All right, when we execute vengeance upon the heathen under Yahushua. All right. So when we Israelites, all right, Jacob, enter into our blessing over the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven, okay, these heathen nations are going to serve us and bow down unto us. All right, starting with them bowing down to Yahushua. because before we receive our glory, Yahweh Shai has to receive his glory. Okay? And the main nation that's going to be bowing to us is Esau Edom. Just as Esau is the main nation that's stopping us from receiving our glory and getting in the way of us entering to the promised land, just as Amalek did in Exodus the 17th chapter. Well, guess what? Esau, Edom, primarily Amalek, are going to be the main ones serving the hardest slavery under us in the kingdom. Okay? Let's go to Numbers, the 24th chapter. All right, Numbers 24. Okay, when you're reading this chapter, the Numbers 24th chapter, you had a particular, I believe this is a king, Balak, who gave an order to this individual in this chapter, Balaam, to basically throw up a curse against our forefathers as we were in the wilderness on our way to the Holy Land. All right, but when you go down to this chapter, the Lord, basically intervened and and instead of Balaam, cursing our forefathers, okay, the Lord basically put the spirit upon Balaam to to basically prophesy on behalf of our forefathers, okay, and speak about how, us receiving victory over these heathen nations in the latter days, okay, as it goes into, all right, Numbers 24, and I'm going to start at 14. And now behold, I go unto my people, come therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people shall do to thy people in the latter days. All right, in the latter days, which is the time that we're in right now. It says, and he took up his parable and said, Balaam, the son of Beor, hath said, and the man whose eyes are open hath said, verse 16, he hath said, which heard the words of Yahweh, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. Okay, so the Lord basically countered Balak's order and put the spirit on Balaam to basically prophesy what's gonna befall our people in these latter days. Okay, primarily the remnant, the elect. Verse 17, I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall arise out of Israel. Okay, and who is that star that's said to come out of Jacob? All right, that should be an easy question. Let's just look it up. All right, this word star, Strong's H3556. Kawakab, it says, star of Messiah, brothers, youth, numerous progeny, personification, Most High's omniscience, okay, which means, all knowing figuratively, okay, and Yahweh Shai is the embodiment of the Most High Yahweh's omniscience, okay, all knowing, all understanding, all right, but nonetheless, this star that will rise out of Jacob is talking about the Messiah, Yahweh Shai. Okay? So let's read it again. Numbers 24 and 17. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. Talking about Yahweh Shai, right? And what is Yahweh Shai gonna do? Okay? And shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. Okay, so when Yahweh Shai and the holy angels come back in these latter days, Moab is going to be taken down. All right, verse 18. And Edom shall be a possession, Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. So, not only is Moab going to be taken down, but also Esau Edom is going to be taken down and made a possession. Hey, so the Lord is going to flip Esau's agenda upon his head, okay? Because as we read in Ezekiel 35, Esau is trying to use his pseudoscience and technology and his charagma to make us Israelites his possession, well, guess what? The Lord is going to is going to give us the power through his begotten son Yahweh Shai for us to make Esau Edom our possession in return. Okay? Real quick, let's link that up with Obadiah. All right? And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemy. All right? And Edom, okay, not only talking about the nation itself, the people itself, Esau, Edom, but also the land as well. You know, the physical land of Esau, Edom, and Mount Seir. All right? Obadiah 1:18 speaks of that. All right? Obadiah 1 verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. Okay, all 12 tribes, basically representing the tabernacle of David. Okay, the 144,000, 12,000 men out of each 12 tribe of the nation of Israel under Yahweh Shai. Okay, we're going to be likened unto a fire and a flame, okay, to the house of Esau, Edom. It says, Obadiah 1:18 again, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. Yeah, because we're going to put these Edomites and the rest of these heathen nations in hardcore slavery, captivity. Okay, according to our blessing that we just read of in Genesis 27. It says, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai have spoken it. Okay, so in the kingdom, primarily after the first 1,000 years of Esau Edom serving hardcore slavery, there's going to come a day of what we call the day of extermination, where, as it just said, there should not be any remaining of the house of Esau. Meaning what? Okay, after that first 1,000 years, there's going to come a day where we're going to exterminate every single last Edomite, all right, man, woman, and child off of the face of the earth. Okay, for Yahweh Shema Shai have spoken this. Okay, in the words of the Lord don't come back to him void, as the scripture says. Okay, so the Lord has spoken it, and therefore, all right, the Lord's words are going to be fulfilled. All right, so verse 19, Obadiah 1:19, and they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau. Now, that we just read in Numbers 24, and Edom shall be a possession, and Seir shall be a possession. Okay, going to be possessed by the Israelites in the kingdom. Obadiah 1:19 again, and they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead. Okay, so the Edomites are going to be our possession in the kingdom, both the people themselves and as well ultimately the land itself. All right, so Numbers 24:18 again, and Edom shall be a possession, Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. Okay, this word valiantly, all right, Strong's H2428. Chayal, it says strength, might, efficiency, wealth, army. Okay, man, strength, ability, efficiency, wealth, force, army. Hey, so we go get busy with these Edomites in the kingdom, because first and foremost we're gonna have Yahweh Shema Shai on our side. Okay, we're gonna have the new bodies, which are gonna be incorruptible, indestructible. All right, not non-perishable. We're gonna have those spiritual powers. Okay, just like fashioned like unto Yahweh Shai. All right, and these heathen nations won't be able to do it, nothing with us once we enter into that glory. Okay, we're gonna deal with Esau, Edom, and the rest of these heathen nations valiantly. Okay, with strength and efficiency and might. Okay, as an army. All right, the 144,000 under Yahweh Shai. As you can see right here in the Strong's definition, activity, army, band of men, soldiers. Okay, soldiers. All right. So hey, we will get busy with these heathen once we enter into our blessing. You know, and that's why, as it says in Revelation the 11th chapter, when the Spirit of life, the Holy Spirit from Yahweh Shema Shai entered into us, great fear fell upon them which saw us. Great fear fell upon these heathen nations when they saw the word going out, okay, and the remnant waking up, okay, these heathen nations that we read of earlier in Psalms 83, okay, these heathens started shaking in their boots because once the remnant started waking up, that signified the end of their rulership. All right. So back in Numbers 24 and 19, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion. All right, Yahweh Shai, that star, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. Okay, and then verse 20, and when he looked on Amalek, all right, the small hats, the 1948ers that are currently in the Holy Land right now, calling themselves the JEWs, the chosen people, okay, which out of Esau, Edom, Amalek are the main ones that's at the forefront of, trying to keep our people down, all right, because as we read in Psalms 83, all right, in verse 7, Amalek is also listed as one of the nations that would try to cut us off from the name of Israel, all right, from our fame and glory and reputation as Israelites, okay, and our access from Yahweh Shema Shai, all right. So Numbers 24 and 20 again, and when he looked on Amalek, and he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. And as the apostles, various elders always go into this word first. All right, Amalek will be the first of the nations. This word first, Strong's H7225, Ra'ashyath, okay, and it says first, beginning, best, chief, okay, first, chief, choice part, all right. So right now, basically going into, right now we're in, Esau's blessing, but out of the nation of Esau, Edom, who will be at the forefront of the blessing of Esau? Amalek, okay, which when you read in Genesis 36, Amalek was one of the sons that descended out of Esau, okay. So Amalek would be at the forefront of the blessing of Esau, Edom, having the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven by way of the sword, okay. And these top banking families of Esau, Edom are Amalekites themselves, So Amalek will be the first of the nations, okay. The chief or choice part of the nations, these small hats, which own everything. Okay, own the news stations. They own and control the foods that we eat. They run the music industry. Okay, they're behind all the oil industry and the prison industry. They're behind the military industry. Okay, they're basically behind this whole entire beast system, America, NATO, and the EU. Okay, they own the Federal Reserve and all these other central banks throughout the earth. Okay, Amalek is the one behind all of this. All right, these 48ers, these small hats. So it says, Numbers 24 and 20 again. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. Okay, so the judgment is set for Amalek, all right, of the nation of Esau to perish forever. And of course, not only Amalek, but all of Esau, all right, as we just read in Obadiah. Okay, there should be none remaining of the house of Esau ever. and that includes Amalek. Okay, starting first and foremost with Amalek. All right. So, you know, what we just read right here in Numbers 24 is the reason for Psalms the 83rd chapter. Why they want to cut us off from our remembrance as Israelites and cut off our access from Yahweh Shemashai, because if they can cut off our access and cut off our remembrance, then none of these things we just read right here in Numbers 24 would come to pass, and they will be able to upset prophecy and ultimately get the victory. Okay, but through just the Lord raising up the remnant, okay, the elect, which would be roughly a small number throughout the whole entire earth. Okay, a little sanctuary as it goes into in Ezekiel. The remnant would upset all of these left hand plans and agendas of these heathen, starting with Esau, Edom. Okay, and the remnant through Yahweh Shai is what would get us the victory over these heathen nations, and all right, starting with these Edomites. Okay. So pretty much the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter, as the title of the lesson goes into. All right, these heathen trying to cut us off from being a nation. All right, trying to cut off the name of the name and the fame and the reputation and the glory of us Israelites from our remembrance. Okay, taking crafty counsel against us, conspiring against us. Everything that we just read of in Psalms 8, the 83rd chapter, pretty much explains the mindset of these heathen nations in Judith, the 5th chapter. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just read a little bit of it one more time before I close out. Judith 5 and Judith 5 and 19. But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. Okay, the remnant waking up in these outer days. All right. Verse 20, now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. Yeah, so these heathen nations can find error against the remnant, okay, and find fault against the remnant, and be able to accuse us before Yahweh Shemashai, then basically they're able to overcome us and get the victory and upset prophecy. All right, but verse 21, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. And guess what? We read earlier that the elect, the remnant, starting with the 144,000, will be found without iniquity, without sin, without fault, and without guile in our mouths. Okay? And be likened unto virgins in the eyes of Yahweh Shemashai. So guess what? When these heathen nations try to come up against us and accuse us, guess what? We being the hopeful elect, the remnant, they won't be able to get the victory of us. All right, because we're covered by the blood of Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Lord will not be of their number. And we have a testimony to overcome their accusations. All right. And ultimately the Lord is going to defend us. All right. Just as any man would do for his virgin, okay, the apple of his eye. All right, when he sees another man trying to, run up and devour his woman, and his woman screams out, that man is gonna do everything in his power to defend his woman, okay, to prevent his virgin from being defiled. All right, and that's what Yahweh Shema Shah is gonna do for us. All right, as his elect, the remnant, okay. So I'm gonna end it off right there. Lord willing, this video is edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the bishops and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And also peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. One full